Hey, what's up, people? JayDub here. This is going to be a Q&A video. A lot of people are asking me questions on Twitter and also YouTube. I'm going to get to the questions in this video, but before I do have to talk about one thing in particular on this last episode of Monday Night Raw. Finally, because I know a lot of you guys are so excited to talk about it. You were chatting about it on my last video's comment section, even though I didn't even mention it at all in the video. But you know what? I don't blame you for being excited, because as soon as I saw The Miz and Chris Jericho were forming a tag team, I was excited about it also. And I'm a big Misfit, big Jerichoholic, huge fan of both of these guys, so you know I was going to be excited about this pairing up. Miz and Chris Jericho, hopefully they go on to win the Unified Tag Team Championships. As soon as I saw them, it took me back to something I said a couple of videos ago. I said, you know what, I liked how WWE was using the Tag Team Championships, putting them on people like The Miz and Chris Jericho, but when they had their Tag Team Championship reigns, they were not partners, but it seems as if WWE is pushing them in that direction now, so that's all the more better. Can't wait to see what they accomplish. I know, I think this has all the possibility in the world to be a great matchup. I described it as being epically awesome because they are so similar. They have similar looks, similar promo styles. I think they will have a lot of chemistry as tag team partners and mesh very well together. Honestly, I think that this could be even better than Chris Jericho and Edge from last year, even though we didn't get a chance to see that tag team fully develop because Edge went out with an injury. Hopefully nothing like this happens with this tag team, and yeah, they go on to reach heights of levels of greatness, because I honestly believe that they can. Chris Jericho, he's already a great superstar. Miz, he's on the road to greatness. This tag team is a step in the right direction for the Miz, and I can't wait to see these guys tag team championships on Raw and Smackdown. I'm pretty sure we have some great promos to see and great segments, very entertaining stuff. So yeah, good job WWE putting these guys together. First question I have: do you agree Stone Cold Steve Austin and Randy Orton share similarities with both characters? Stone Cold Steve Austin, he got the anti-hero persona. Randy Orton is developing a persona like that now. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the rattlesnake. Randy Orton, the viper. Stone Cold Steve Austin with the Stone Cold Stunner. Randy Orton with the RKO, kind of similar moves. So there are some similarities right there. But Randy Orton, he isn't even touching the level of epicness that the character of Stone Cold was, because Stone Cold was more promo driven than Randy Orton is. I'm not saying that Randy Orton should be like a carbon copy of Stone Cold, but I want to see him, talk a little bit more than he does now. Like, I don't know if his character is fully developed now with his anti-hero persona, because all we see right now is like a silent assassin. He kind of stares at people, gives them that ice cold look, and then RKOs them. I want to see him talk a little bit more. I want to see him do a little bit more. Then I think he could be on the road to greatness also. So yeah, he could possibly be this generation's answer to Stone Cold, and maybe even rival the popularity of somebody like Stone Cold or The Rock. And even if he doesn't get up there actually to their level, he could be as close as we see, as close as to their popularity as this generation will see. So he could go on and unseat John Cena as the face of WWE, the top star in the company. Hopefully that does happen, but I'm just saying, me personally, I have to see more from his new character. I'm not saying that he has to go out there cutting 20-minute promos, but yeah, I want to see more from Randy Orton. But yeah, moving on to the next question. If there is a second season of NXT, what would you change in order to make the show more entertaining? I'll just start off at NXT as a whole. This show is utterly disappointing. I feel ashamed that because the first episode of NXT, it was a great show. You can go back and watch my video review of NXT. I said it was a great show. At one point I was even saying that NXT was the best wrestling show on TV because it was so refreshing, it was so innovative, I just loved everything about the show, from the announcing to all of the guys on the show. But now it's so disappointing because the show sucks. It took a dive in the quality, a big dive in the quality. We have them competing in obstacle courses where they have to drink pop and sell merchandise to fans. Like, how the hell does this factor into being a rookie and trying to become a WWE superstar? It doesn't seem like it factors for me at all. Like, I knew the show was going to take a dive into quality when they said that the like when they first started out the show, for instance. They didn't reveal any details on the show, like how was somebody going to win the show? Were we going to have a winner? What were they going to win? How was the winner going to be determined? We didn't know any of that. Then they finally started to release the details, and You know, they said they were going to release a pros poll, and 6 weeks after that poll, that's when the eliminations will start. I knew that they were just going to be having filler segments from that time. Like, what could you do? You know, you say you're going to have a poll, and your eliminations don't start until 6 weeks after the poll. So that's where we get these failed male diva search segments and challenges from. I think that's one thing that needs to go from the show. I would love to see the show more actually a reality-based program, because they said it was going to be reality / live event hybrid, and I'm not seeing the reality in the show. Like, I think JR, he suggested in his blog, put these guys in an apartment or a house together. Let's see how their personal lives develop. Let's see how their personalities develop. Let's see how their new wrestling personas develop, you know, something like that. See how they react to being rookies in the business. See how they develop their own characters, you know, see how, you know, stuff like that. Actual reality, not what they call reality with monkey bars and drinking pop and stuff like that. So I think that will make the show more entertaining. On to the next question. Why don't you do SmackDown review videos like you do for Raw? Is it because Triple H isn't on SmackDown? First off, has nothing to do with Triple H being on it not being on SmackDown. And this question was asked by Hardcore Rob, the same guy who said he'd go to jail if he ever saw John Cena in person. I'm just putting things into perspective for you. But the reason why I don't do SmackDown reviews is, let's face it, even if SmackDown is the best show that WWE has, it's not the A show, it's not the franchise. Monday Night Raw is the face of WWE. And yeah, SmackDown is also on a Friday night. SmackDown, it's pre-taped. SmackDown, a lot of people watch SmackDown before it even actually airs on TV, so that's why I'm not really in tune to making SmackDown review videos. But I want to talk about SmackDown more, because people talk about how WWE sucks, how WWE has celebrity guest host segments, and WWE has Hornswoggle, and WWE has lame comedy bits, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're substituting Raw for WWE as a whole when all of that stuff that you're mentioning doesn't go on SmackDown. So I need to start talking about SmackDown more, and I'm going to try to talk about it more pretty soon. So on to the next question. How old were you when you first became a wrestling fan, and what is the first match you remember seeing? The first match I remember seeing was Undertaker versus Kane in a Inferno match, February 22nd, 1999. I was 9 years old, and that was my first time ever watching WWE. It was WWF back then, but same thing. That was my first time watching WWE, and before that, I watched WCW. I don't remember much about WCW. All I remember is that I was a fan of the Wolfpack, Kevin Nash, and I remember a feud between Eric Bischoff and Ric Flair. That's all I remember. So on to the next one. Will HBK ever have one more match? He probably will, but hopefully he comes back for the right reasons, and hopefully it's not something like we saw with Ric Flair. You know, Ric Flair, he just pissed away his whole retirement. Like, he's going and being in tag team matches and wrestling for ring unifications and stuff like that. Like, all of that is irrelevant, and he pissed away his whole retirement for what? Basically because you were too dumb to sign prenups. Now you have to pay 50 women alimony each month. So is that why you really came back to wrestling, just so you can get a check at the end of the week? So I don't know. I don't think HBK will have any problems like that. Hopefully, if he ever comes back, it's for something of substance. And I wouldn't be mad if I saw him come back, but he has to weigh his decisions personally. Like, a lot of people will criticize him for being a hypocrite. That's why I think he has to stay away for as long as possible. And if he wants to come back, compete in one more match, hey, I won't be mad at you. But like he said, he wants to try to stick by his word that he made to all of his fans. On to the next question. The Rock. If The Rock did come back to WWE, will he take John Cena's top spot in WWE? First off, if The Rock ever comes back to WWE, it's not going to be on a permanent basis. He's not going to be there long enough to take anybody's spot in WWE, let alone a top spot. So, speaking of that, The Rock, he said he wanted to come back in the summer. I guess it's like a wait-and-see type thing, but it's interesting that his opinions on wrestling changed, because he went from not even wanting to mention WWE in interviews to saying, oh, I love my fans so much, and I can't wait to go back and put on a great show for them, put on some entertaining stuff. I have a lot of ideas for them, and I can't wait to, you know, give back to my fans, because I was there for a pretty long time, and all of this BS. Basically, we'll see if he's actually real about this during the summer, and the clock is ticking, Rocky. What do you got to say? So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's not some lame pre-recorded video package like he did last time with SmackDown's 10th anniversary, a show that was named. I'm not even going to go into it because I'm about to go into a rant, but I digress. On to the next question. With so many top-level superstars leaving WWE lately, such as Shawn Michaels and Batista, you see WWE scrambling now to push younger talent to the main event more than ever on Raw. Sheamus was pushed, in some people's opinion, far too early, and is there fears that this may happen with new up-and-coming main event talent if WWE pushes them too fast? This also ties into the next question. Do you feel that Sheamus' push was a fail? I do, because he has never impressed me. Well, funny thing about it, I said this before, I will say it again, Sheamus didn't start impressing me until after he lost the WWE Championship. Now, each week, I look forward to what Sheamus is going to do on Raw. Like, each week, I'm impressed by Sheamus, and I'm sold on Sheamus. Like, I'm buying what he's selling. Like, I think he's legit. I think he's the real deal now. Don't know about you guys, but, yeah, as far as his push being a fail, what he's experiencing right now is still a push, so I won't say that it was exactly a fail, but speaking on his championship reign, that's a different story. As far as I go, I didn't really like the championship reign. I thought it was a fail, but you have to look at what was WWE's actual purpose with putting the championship on Sheamus. If you believe that WWE's purpose was to say, this guy, he will make a great champion. We're going to put the championship on him, and he's going to have a pretty great championship reign. If that was WWE's purpose, no doubt about it, it failed. But if WWE's purpose was to put the championship on him as a prop, because basically that's what the belts are right now, they're props. If it was to put it on him just to get people to notice him, to say, hey, this guy's the WWE champion, maybe we should take notice of him, I think it was a great success, because whether people liked Sheamus or not, they took notice of him, they found out his name, they knew who he was, and look at what he's doing now, feuding with Triple H, involved in the WWE Championship picture, and it seems as if he belongs there. Like, nobody is saying, oh, he doesn't deserve a WWE Championship match. So it seems as if he belongs there. So if you look at it like that, it seems as if it was a success. But as far as WWE pushing new talent, I really do think that they should start pushing new talent more aggressively than what they do now. I'm not just saying just throw a championship on somebody out of nowhere. Even if they end up being legitimate stars after the championship, I still don't think that they should be treating their championships like that, basically as trash, because it's like the championship was vacated when Sheamus had it. I didn't feel like he was the champion. Like, we saw him with the belt, but I didn't feel like he was the champion. So yeah, I think they need to start pushing more stars with some substance and actually some great storylines that actually build up their characters, give them the slow build, and then, put them into a championship match, and there you go. Even though John Morrison, he's been experiencing some ups and downs in WWE, I thought that they were building his character up very well on Friday Night Smackdown. Like, he earned a championship match with Jeff Hardy last year. Even though he lost, he still looked good in the match. He also, was feuding with, well, not really feuding, but, in a couple of matches with Jack Swagger. I thought he looked well. I thought his, persona was being built up well, but they moved him over to Monday Night Raw. It remains to be seen what will come of his character from that. But I believe that John Morrison could have been a legit contender on SmackDown, but who knows. But yeah, I think the reason why WWE is giving these uber pushes to people like Jack Swagger and Sheamus is because they waited too late to start pushing talent. Now they have to throw the championships on people like that to just to add a little bit of variety, because we're so used to seeing, oh, Triple H, John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton with the belt. They had to, push these guys so fast to offer some variety. I'll wait for them to push the talent, but, yeah, don't wait too late. Because speaking of John Morrison, what they could have done with look at what they could have done with Shawn Michaels and John Morrison. They could have had Shawn Michaels pass the torch, so to say, on to John Morrison before he retired. That's one thing that I think WWE needs to start doing. They need to start saying, you know what, top stars of today, you can remain the top stars, but still you have to start ushering in this new talent. You have to start giving them some credibility. And I think Triple H is doing that with Sheamus right now. Undertaker, he does that, every so often. So I think that's what WWE really needs to start doing when they push their young stars. Next question, and this is the final one. If you had to describe what you love about wrestling in one word, what would it be? This is a very interesting question because I never actually sat down and thought about why I'm a wrestling fan. All I just did was know I'm a wrestling fan and watch. I never actually tried to apply any logic to it, but, you know, this is a very interesting question. I think the only way that I could summarize this wrestling and my liking of wrestling, spectacle. I guess that would be the one word. Because that sums up everything. Like it's so spectacular to me. It's like another world where you combine athletics and acting. Then you have the bright lights and fireworks and the over-the-top personalities, the larger-than-life characters. It's a lot of stuff that happens in wrestling that doesn't happen in real life. It just allows you to be a part of this alternate world. So I think that's why I love wrestling. The spectacle. So that's a pretty interesting question. I want you to answer. All of you guys, let me know down in the comment section below. If you could sum up why you love wrestling in one word, what would it be? And that's where I'll end this video. Hopefully this will become a weekly thing. If you have any questions for me, ask me on my YouTube channel page in the comment section or in a personal message on YouTube. I am JayDub. Peace out. Or you can do it on Twitter too. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/JayDubShow.